Okay, if you search YouTube for Safari Condo Alto, you're going to find a lot of good information. A lot of it's pretty nicely done. But hang in there. This might be a little rough, but it's my take on using one for 5 years. Our Alto is about 7 years old. If my comments don't apply to your newer one, well, never mind. Here we are with our Safari Alto, hooked up to our Honda Ridgeline, ready to leave for a month of camping in California. We've read about Altos online, went, ooh, we want one, then miraculously discovered this one for sale locally. Before we handed over our money, we made sure that it would fit into our garage. It did, but only by inches. The Alto's jack had to be all the way down, and the garage door had to be propped up so that it was above the entrance. Keeping it in the garage not only saves rent for storage, keeps our HOA happy, but allows us easy access to load up before a trip. Since our driveway's on a slope, and getting the Alto in and out of the garage is threading a needle, we use an electric winch anchored in the garage. Because we found that the freely rotating wheel on the jack often had a mind of its own, we rigged up a tiller that helps us steer the Alto, both at home and in the campsite. Okay, here we are at Point of the Rocks Campground in Prescott, Arizona, one of our favorite spots. Let's take a look at what's going on inside the trailer. I'm 5'10", and I always need to remember going in or out of the trailer. Duck. There's a thin metal edge that seals the door's insulation. It can be annoying if you forget and get in or out too enthusiastically. Once you're inside, having successfully cleared the door, there's the kitchen. Often, to use something somewhere, something has to be moved to somewhere else. That's true for both our stuff and ourselves. To use a stove, we relocate the dish drain to a bed. For one of us to thrash around between the beds getting dressed, the other person can't be there. Let me explain why I have a fan hanging from the shower rail. Air conditioning is provided by a heat pump under the seat near the entrance. Its only vent is to the right of the seat. The air blows straight up from there. This keeps us cool up front, but not so much in the back. That's where the fan comes in. It does a decent job of sending that cool air to the back. That's the bathroom on the right. The push-button marine latch is secure when we're traveling, but it's annoying if there's an emergency necessity. So I've strung up these bungee cords to keep the door shut by friction. The red box on the table is a small cooler chest I modified to keep various medicines from getting too hot or too cold. If temperatures in the mid-80s or above, the Alto with its large windows, metal body, thin insulation can become a solar oven. If the trail is already hot inside, the AC struggles to cool it down. Our best strategy is to pick places where the temperature doesn't go over 80 degrees. If we're stuck in the heat, we turn on the AC early in the morning. When it's still cool, then just leave it on all during the day. Also, setting up our awning helps to keep the Alto's interior cooler, and it also gives us a pleasant place to hang out outside. Speaking of cold, I have no complaints about our fridge. Even off the grid, the solar panels on the roof, coupled with the battery, are enough to keep it running 24/7. But I do have one minor quibble. There's a vent on the side of the refrigerator cabinet that blows cold exhaust air on whoever's sitting next to it. Now, I don't want to cover it up completely since who knows what that might do. So temporarily, I've used a couple of paper plates and some tape to move the stream. I'll get around to replacing those tapes with a proper aluminum panel real soon now. Here's my favorite spot for relaxing. I'm propped up enough to enjoy a book or one of my electronic gadgets with my feet up on the center bedpan, which, as I mentioned before, keeps them out of our way. Despite my fetching, My wife and I really like camping in the Alto. A lot of reasons. It fits in our garage. It tows fine with our medium-sized pickup, even up hills and on freeways at 75. It's light enough for us to push it around manually. Those big windows make us feel like we're a part of nature. It has all the amenities we need to be comfortable. In 5 years, we've had no major problems. And finally, we love the unique design. From a distance, it looks like something from another planet. And at campsites, it starts lots of conversation.